And I think, you know, maybe some of you have already seen the gas prices going up and you felt that, right? A couple of weeks ago, a Shell executive said that by the end of next year, the fuel prices could be at $5 a gallon. And that's going to hurt everybody, and it's going to hurt them where it counts, right, in the pocketbook. So when you're going home at night and in a traffic jam and you can't move any place, and your engine continues to run and you're burning your fuel, that's going to cause more pain in your pocketbook because you just don't have any way to deal with that. So every drop of fuel is going to count as we move on in the future. And do you know how much fuel is wasted when you're at red lights or when you're stuck in traffic jams and those kind of situations? Well, NHTSA estimates that about 3 billion gallons of fuel each year is wasted in traffic jams. That's billions of dollars out of mine and your pockets. So that's a big issue. And that doesn't count the NHTSA requirements of fuel economy, you know, meeting tougher and tougher fuel requirements as we go to the future. You know, we know 2016 is going to provide the 35 miles to a gallon. And while we don't quite know what the next step is after that, we know it's going to get more stringent. And you know, from a DENSO standpoint, we like to call that it's going to become more ecologically friendly. So that's a good thing, right? Well, in some aspects, I guess. So let me tell you about advancements in fuel efficiency and introduce our recent developments in start-stop technology. You're going to start to see start-stop technology in the North American market in the next year. For those of you who are familiar with DENSO, you know that we've long backed our development efforts with serious financial support. DENSO's research and development is the source of our company's competitiveness. Last fiscal year, DENSO allocated more than 9% of its consolidated global sales to research and development. And this is how we paid for it in the powertrain area. Along with improving efficiencies of technology for gasoline and diesel engines, DENSO has stepped up the development for gasoline direct injection, our GDI technology. And we've also done so in growth areas like hybrid electric vehicles and the start-stop technologies, areas that we expect to expand in North American market. First, it's important to say that DENSO approaches fuel economy improvement from an energy management standpoint perspective, looking around the entire vehicle, and so we're not just looking at any individual products, but how the entire system interacts and how to make that the most fuel effective. Basically, energy management is how we can increase the energy efficiency within the vehicle, whether it's making our product smaller or lighter and more efficient to reduce the energy load, recovering that lost energy and reusing it, or incorporating intelligent transportation technology. The bottom line is saving energy saves fuel. A good example is our car navigation, which uses cooperative energy management approach. When a vehicle goes uphill, it requires more energy for acceleration. In contrast, when it goes downhill, it doesn't need as much energy. It's like riding a bicycle up the hill. You work a lot harder to go up the hill. Trust me, I know. A lot of mass to get up the hill here. And now how the car navigation system works, it provides road information to the vehicle and it detects a downhill slope after an uphill climb. It limits the electrical generation while the vehicle is on the uphill climb, and then reintroduces that generation on the downhill, resulting in lower fuel consumption. Looking at GDI fuel technology, fuel efficiency can be achieved with combining with turbocharging and downsize. DENSO's first mass production GDI components date back to 1996. And we're now starting in production our third generation GDI technology. It's geared to deliver more power and less emissions while being more compact. And the technology features reliability and flexibility for usage in markets worldwide. DENSO's compact, high durability, high pressure fuel pump has become the de facto standard in the industry. And our high pressure injectors allow a more precise control and combustion for emissions. DENSO's North American GDI applications will hit the U.S. market later this year in the Ford 2-liter Focus and the 3.5-liter F-150 engines. The systems include DENSO's new high-pressure injectors and fuel pumps. The system will help Ford improve fuel economy up to 20%. So the next step is, how do we manage the total energy of a downsized engine? So we look, after the turbocharge, the next thing we want to do is consider water-cooled charge air coolers. And what's a water-cooled charge air cooler? Well, it cools the air charged at the engine, and that cooled air is more dense, so as it pulls it in the engine, it increases the performance and reduces the displacement. Another advantage of our water-cooled charge air coolers is it reduces turbo lag by reducing the volume of air in the intake ducts. Now this is a little secret that takes the combined total engine management capability, so if you have questions afterwards, maybe I can talk about that. Another step in our continuous refinement process is the application of cooled EGR. DENSO's expertise in combustion and engine management and thermal systems provides the ability to develop components like cooled EGR. The cooled EGR actually cools the exhaust gas so it can be reintroduced into the engine cylinder. This reduces the amount of fuel required at high loads. Remember that guy pedaling up the hill? That's the applications where cooled EGR can provide the most advantage. And this ultimately allows for improved fuel economy. Now let me bring you up to date on hybrid electric and electric vehicle activities. When it comes to developing hybrid components, DENSO is definitely not the new kid on the block. We've been researching and developing these components in some capacity for more than 40 years. Since the introduction of the first Prius in 1997, we've supplied various types of hybrid vehicle components. This hybrid expertise has been very valuable in our EV system development. And as you know, cost continues to be a big challenge in this area. DENSO's objective is to significantly reduce the size and cost with each generation of product, using our capabilities including our thermal management capability, our power electronics design and manufacturing, and our overall manufacturing capabilities. Also, as the electrification progresses, the heat generated from an engine will decrease, and technology to provide heat for the cabin and warm up the engine will become essential. We're already doing that. DENSO is developing these kinds of technologies such as heat pump systems to better generate heat for electric vehicles and hybrid electric vehicles to provide cabin warming. Maybe on a day like today it doesn't work, but you need some more application for that. But still to provide the opportunity of comfort and convenience for the passenger. Where you can find DENSO in the North American market today for HEV and EV products includes DC to DC and inverters supplied to Toyota. And recent hybrid electric and electric installations in North America include the DC to DC converter for the Infiniti M HEV and the Nissan Leaf EV. The DENSO inline compressor will debut later this year on the Ford Focus battery electric vehicle. Okay, now let's talk about start-stop. Remember that $5 a gallon price I talked about earlier and the 2016 fuel requirements? Based on that, we expect the North American market to undergo rapid expansion in vehicles equipped with start-stop in the 2012-2013 timeframe. Start-stop systems stop the engine when a vehicle comes to a stop. For example, at a stoplight or in a traffic jam. This helps reduce fuel consumption and reduces CO2 emissions. When you stop the engine when you stop the engine in different traffic situations, imagine the implications. Will you be able to quickly restart the engine and accelerate your car? And how does the air conditioner or heater continue to run? The engine isn't powering these components anymore, so what is? Well, let me tell you how that works. DENSO's been working on start-stop technology since the 1980s, and that plus our more than 50 years experience in developing starting motors, and the fact that DENSO has market share of 20%, the world's largest, we know this area pretty well. That experience, paired with our in-depth knowledge of powertrain and thermal management systems, is a key. This gives us a unique advantage to provide automakers with their overall systems approach. DENSO understands how to seamlessly integrate start-stop components into the vehicle and can offer superior technical support that comes from decades of integration experience. With that said, I'll share our three-level